How fucking far is
Every time I walk up to
Not bad at all.
This is the most I've worked out since the beginning of the pandemic. Seriously.
Congrats.
Okay.
Yeah, it's exhausting. We have time.
Is that a Celsius?
It's a Celsius. I'm not sponsored or anything. I'm trying.
I was a previous holder in the company. But
Were you?
we'll talk about that at a different time. Yeah.
Were you?
Oh yeah, man. Celsius Holdings doing huge things in Canada right now,
You're into stocks?
dude.
GameStop?
No. That's poser shit.
Yeah. That's like fucking hot topic investing.
Dude. Brian and I.
Are you on Reddit? How do you know what to invest in?
Wall Street Journal.
You either know or you don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything. Is this one recording, Anthony? Okay.
Dude, they're gonna be like, did she just fire Ramsey? Why is he crying and sweating?
Oh, look at us, guys.
Oh, there we are.
Oh, I love this. I'm so happy the both of you are here. You are some of my favorite people at this moment. Unless some allegations come out, then I will turn my back on you so quickly.
You do not have to worry about that. The level of discomfort that Brian and I both have with our own selves, I think, is insurance.
I haven't taken my clothes off in 15 years.
Yeah.
I know Ramsey wouldn't. I know both of you well enough, I think, to know that neither of you would have any legitimate allegations. I think, I can't say for sure, but I would imagine neither of you. I feel like Brian. I feel like you hook up with crazy girls who would claim some shit just to get your attention.
No comment. But did you take notes on how to start the spot? Were you like, I'm going to execute Brian right away?
As your attorney, Brian, I'm going to advise you to go ahead and hold on that one. I refuse to participate in clips that are just set up for a disaster in the future.
This is the clip. This is the clip to promote the podcast.
I didn't know you were doing hard journalism here. I thought we were just going to have a chat.
I thought it's a fun way to start.
Dude,
Get you a little bit uncomfortable.
Doing good radio right up top.
I know. It was funny watching you try to form a compliment where you guys are some of my favorite people at the moment.
I get nervous making committed statements. Like, even I have a boyfriend, and even calling
Look at how you couldn't even.
I can't even say the word boyfriend.
You add 9 syllables.
And even when I tell him I like him, I always end it for now. I go, I like you at this moment for now. I don't know what tomorrow brings, but.
Do you think, if you didn't say that, I'm sure he's not thinking you mean eternity.
I think he is.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he a softie?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I always end up with softies.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you meet this guy?
Tinder.
Yeah? And it worked out?
It worked out for now. At this moment, it's working.
I don't like the idea of even talking about Allie on Tinder, if I can be completely honest with you.
Well, okay. I need to start this podcast properly. Okay.
Thank you.
Hi. Welcome to my podcast.
Where's your outline?
I don't have an outline. I play it loose and goose and a lot of coochie juice. This is my podcast. Today on my podcast, I have 2 of my best friends for now. And since I started stand-up, Brian Vokey over here.
Hi.
And Ramsey Badawi over there.
An absolute honor and a privilege to be here. Thank you so much, Allie.
It's my pleasure to have you on my giant platform. I know that this is huge for you guys. We get about 3,000 average views on YouTube, so happy you guys could be a part of this.
Really appreciate that. Yeah. Ramsey is acting like he's on Charlie Rose right now.
Well, did a little bit of public radio in my day, so 3,000 isn't really all that huge, but okay, cool.
You know what I like about you guys? I've
that?
known you since the beginning of my stand-up career, we could call it, if it's even that at this moment. But I feel like you guys know me in a special way. I feel like I know you guys in a special way. I feel like our origin stories of friendship are pretty fun. I met Ramsey. I'll start with Ramsey.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, boy. We're getting to the paywall right away, huh?
I mean,
take it easy on me.
I will. I'll be vague. But I met Ramsey. So when I started doing open mics, I was living at my parents' house, who live in like the Long Beach area, and so I was going to a couple Orange County open mics, and then I was going to a couple LA open mics, and Ramsey was living in Orange County, and so I met him at this one open mic. I had probably done like maybe 6 open mics at this point.
Yeah.
And I remember there were like a bunch of people sitting outside, and I didn't know anyone because I was brand new. And I saw Ramsey, and Ramsey looked like he knew what he was doing. Everyone else, I was like, you guys are all jabronis. Ramsey's got a good head on his shoulders. I don't know if I had even seen you go up yet, but I just sensed it.
Yeah.
You know? I got a good vibe reader, I'll say.
I can tell you had at that point not seen me go up because you were so confident. Just having that kind of confidence and not seeing me at that point in time, I must have been so horrible. I was probably 2 years into comedy.
Yeah, but I was, 6 days into comedy.
Yeah.
So you being, I don't know. You just seem the most legit out of the group of people.
I'd support that.
Anyway, so then I asked Ramsey to watch me. I said, hey, watch my set.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. And I was like, all right, whatever.
Where was this?
The
Harp Inn open mic.
In Orange County.
Newport Beach.
Yeah.
Very empty open mic.
Mm-hmm.
Pictures super far away.
My favorite part about the Harp Inn open mic is that one of the bartenders is now part of David Dobrik's vlog squad, Scotty Sire. I don't know. He was just some dude who worked behind the bar, and he was like this emotional, sensitive guy. And now he's like, because he has all these followers, he's like all cocky and confident. I'm like, I remember when you were making minimum wage and like crying at work.
I'm happy for him. That's
I'm happy
awesome.
for him.
Anybody
That's
who
great.
worked there, that's a pretty depressing place to be.
Yeah, I mean, try working at an open mic and not crying.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
imagine
it's
working at an
awful.
open mic and you don't do comedy. You're just like, I'm just here.
No, but he would try and go up, I think. I think he like hosted a couple times or would like try and do a joke.
That was a pretty big deal in Orange County, so I didn't pay attention to him, I don't know if you remember the part where I knew what I was doing.
Well, so then that's how we met. I was just putting all my faith in you to tell me what you thought of my stand-up. And then we became good friends, did open mics together, went to San Francisco together, and my mom loved you.
Oh, yeah.
I remember we got to do a show, an Evan Cassidy production at the Brea Improv, and it was like my first club gig. And you were there with me, and I remember my mom was there, and she just loved you.
I do very good mom-friendly comedy. Moms are like...
Really?
They're like, I wish my daughter would date a guy who talked about Abraham Lincoln.
My mom thinks you're very smart, and you wrote her a nice note, and she kept it, and she still has it. And
You
she
wrote
asks
her a
about you all the
note?
time.
Why'd you write her a note?
I was trying to hook up with her at the time.
Ramsey and Jenny, I can see it. No, I can't see it.
I met your mom
I'm playing
once.
a really long game.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here today.
She'll listen, so if you want to say anything to Jenny, it's been a while since you guys have talked.
I'm sorry, Jenny, for saying that.
No, she probably loved it.
Yeah,
You think
she
she
loves
did?
it. Oh my
When you
God,
get
yeah.
when you hit that age, anybody telling you they're interested in you, real or not, it feels good still.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, I know I'm almost her age.
Well, that's
Your
why
mom
I'm
had
attracted
you when
to
she
you.
was 10, right?
Brian does have the persona of a MILF, which is why I love him. He's always saying something to me in a
think-
raspy voice.
Brian has more like a gilf vibe. Like,
Yeah.
Brian just wants to like golf and be left alone and like yell at people on his lawn.
Yeah, for sure. I like this fantasy where I have a lawn.
You do.
Yeah.
But only a lawn.
It's
You are living on a lawn, no house behind you.
and the grass is not green on that lawn.
No. I think peeing on it is watering it. I don't know why this is dead grass. I water it 5 times a day.
I met Brian. This is a fun story. I met Brian when I was on travel. I think I'd been like a year into stand-up, and I booked a one-way ticket to London thinking I was going to live there, and then I didn't realize that you have to have a visa before living somewhere out of the country. So then it ended up being like this 3-week trip where I went to London, Paris, Berlin, and then back to London. And I met you in Berlin because you were doing stand-up out there for a little bit and also working out there.
Yes. I had just left the Bay Area. It was a little bit of a flea. I was a little bit of a refugee in the Berlin area. That's why my heart goes out to the Syrians so much. There were Syrian refugee camps, and I was like, can I stay? I'm not Syrian, but do you mind if I stay here? But we went. I went there and started a little, homeschool operation. Was teaching some children and doing comedy.
Well, and then it was cool because I was like in Berlin. I was like, "There's like, what's the comedy scene gonna be like there? Like, is it gonna be like corny German comedians who think they're funny, but really they're just like doing something in a weird voice?"
And the answer is yes.
Yeah. But then you were there, and I was like, "Oh my God, an American! You were from the Bay." And then and then you were like, oh, I'm moving to LA. And I'm like, okay, I'll never see you.
Right.
Because I just assumed, like, LA's big. There's so many comedians in LA. Like, what are the chances that we're going to be in the same circle? And then you moved to LA, and we stayed friends.
You know what's funny about that is your contact in Berlin was comedian David Deary.
Yes.
And so we did shows in Berlin together, all three of us. And then I get to LA, my first time going to the Comedy Store, living in LA. I see David Deary, and I'm just trying to, this is my introduction to the LA mentality. I see David Deary, and I'm just like, hey, what's up, man? And he goes, I can't do anything for you. Right? That was the first thing he said to me. And I was like, okay, I don't even know. And then like fast forward 3 years, it's like 19 emails. Can I please do your show? Can I please do your show? And I'm like, I can't do anything for you, David.
I like that both of your connection to me and Bryan is that we stood out in 5th tier comedy scenes.
I'll tell you what, though, another thing, I went to San Francisco with you, and I've hung out with your mom, and she was nice to me.
Dude,
remember we did a Bay Area run?
Back the fuck off.
Ramsey's already marked Jenny.
Yeah. Unless she's down for some weird shit, dude.
She might be.
Unless she wants to do a crazy podcast bit with Bryan and I.
She would love that.
Like crawl around on some mouse traps or something. Sorry.
And also, I forgot that my mom was coming to see me at the Comedy Store, and we were eating at Saddle Ranch next door because my mom, that's her favorite
I
restaurant.
understood your psychology right away.
Could you explain that to the audience?
Yes. I sat down. I had appetizers with Allie and her mother. Jenny, was that what
Jennifer.
you said? Jennifer. And within 10 minutes, the amount of, not just compliments she rained upon you, like you are perfection. She was like, at Saddle Ranch, they have people who come around and sing songs to you. And she's like, you should have my daughter sing. She's the best singer in the world. She's the most beautiful. She's the funniest. And I was like, that is another kind of abuse.
Yes, I would
really
100% agree. I think I had a joke about it where it's like, I don't think it's healthy to be told every day that you're perfect and you're beautiful and you're funny, because I'm a little bit of some of those things.
It creates the exact same inadequacy that neglect creates,
but
sure.
But I think I would prefer that than having Ramsey's parents.
Ooh, you gonna throw Mona under the bus like that, dude?
She just met Arabs. She doesn't know anything about your parents. She's just like, I wouldn't want Arab parents.
I'll say this. There's a reason you sought out Bryan and I think, because Bryan and I are completely the opposite of that. I'm just like, I think Bryan and I are very much like, we're tough to impress.
And I also think, I think I have some father figure, not issues, but I'm always seeking a paternal role. And not that you guys are so
I love Larry on social
media.
media.
Where you're going with this.
Yeah.
I like where you're going.
My dad's a good guy, and I think both of you have aspects of my dad, and so I feel very
penises.
Attraction to your mom.
Your dad's a pussy
I don't
hound,
know
right?
if I could say my dad has that one.
Isn't your dad a pussy hound?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he loves it. He's an
But
alley cat.
Yeah. But I feel like more just in the sense of, like, you guys know, like, Tom Likas, and, like, I feel like you guys
Tom Likas.
love Tom Likas.
Dude, do not even, I've got tattoos, man.
He's got a framed picture above his bed, poor page.
Before Bryan and I podcast, we slap a picture of Tom Likas together.
I can't believe you are into Tom Likas.
Well, my dad would take me to school, to like elementary school and kindergarten on Flash Fridays and flash his lights while he was dropping me off.
Dude, that fucking rules, man. Yeah. I wish my dad would have done that. And instead, my dad just listened to the Quran.
Really?
On
Audio
tape?
tapes?
Audio CD Quran. I'm not kidding. Just pure
Would they
audio.
sing it?
I wouldn't call it singing it, but
But you know what I mean. Melodious
Wailing?
recitations.
we don't need another community angry at us right now, Bryan. So let's move on.
Is singing an insult? I don't even know these hornets' nests I walk into. I'm like, I don't even understand why you're mad at me. I just said singing.
This is Bryan's podcast, and we'll go into this territory, and then I'll go, let's just back off right now. It's a little uncomfortable.
I just like watching you guys talk.
Yeah?
I just had you guys on so I didn't have to do too much.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I'm not known for speaking too much.
Is there an ad read you want us to do for you?
Nope.
I would love to if that's possible, though.
Sure.
Cool.
Whatever you want to ad read.
Oh, cool.
Let's do an ad read for Celsius.
Dude, now Celsius Holdings is one of the fastest growing energy drink companies in the world. It's true. They're a Canadian company, I think. I I'm a huge believer in the stock.
Why would an ad read say where the company is from?
Well, I'm thinking if I want to hear the ad, what do I want to know?
Have you heard of Justin Trudeau? Want to know how he's so woke all the time?
Celsius Holdings.
Want to know how he had the courage and the strength and the energy to do blackface not only one times but 2 times?
Brown face.
Brown face,
Yeah.
sorry.
It was actually it was blacker than he was trying to do brown face, and he went blacker than I've ever seen in my life.
We've all been to a Sephora and had the wrong face match.
Oh, for sure.
It's amazing because I think he was trying to be like an Arab guy. It's funny when you are so offensive that you can't even get the race that you intended to offend. Like, I don't know one Arab who was mad about the Justin Trudeau thing.
No. Why would they be?
You're so offensive that you just skipped like 3 races.
Is he hot to you?
Yeah.
He is.
He's good looking. I'm not like, I don't think about him when I'm touching myself, but he's good looking.
In that pool, like politicians, would you say he's top tier politician?
Hot politician, yeah.
What about Gavin Newsom?
He's scary hot. Like, he looks like he would play like the vampire in a Disney original.
Yeah, for sure. He looks like a Gotham City villain.
Now, where do you put Mike Pompeo in the mix of things?
I have no idea who that is.
Oh, okay. Former
Who is
Secretary of Defense. Was he Secretary of
Yes.
Defense?
Yeah, Secretary of State.
Me and Brian both have
Secretary of
differing opinions on who's a hot shot, cool politician
Yeah.
and who isn't. And I insist on Mike
If
Pompeo.
I don't know him, he's not a hot shot.
That's a fair point.
Who's the hottest that you can think of?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Good call.
Yeah, he's still pretty hot.
Have you seen his workout videos, like, before he was famous, where he's, like, talking about his, like, workout routine?
Oh yeah, it's like I'm coming. Yeah, he
It's,
talks
very
about
sexual.
Yeah. He's smoking joints and says that lifting weights is like coming,
I feel like
which
I've only
is not true at all.
I've only seen him when he
I've
was too
never
famous.
worked out and gone, man, I think I'm going to come.
Yeah, no. Like I think I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey folks, how are you?
Has the show started?
This is like my full house.
This is your full house.
Yeah, like I feel like one of you is Dave Coulier, one of you is Danny, and I'm just all of the. I'm more
I fancy
Kimmy
myself a
Gibbler.
John Stamos.
Yeah.
No,
But I know, I was going to say, but I know that's not true.
Yeah.
But I do know how to play guitar.
Dude, I was totally on board with you being John Stamos. I was
Who
like,
would you be?
I think I'm both Bob Saget and Dave Coulier together.
No,
Okay.
you're
I'm like a
the little
super-
twins who play the girl.
I'm Kimmy Gibbler.
I think I'm more of a Kimmy.
Yeah, you definitely are a Kimmy. That's
I'm just
without
like,
question
oh,
about that.
like people are excited to see me, but then like after a minute, they're like, go home.
They're like, you're really not going to carry the storyline.
Yeah.
You're going to have to move on.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember a moment where they were excited to see Kimmy.
No, never. But there's
Yeah, I
like
guess
there was a
that's
little
true.
steam. She'd come in the room. They would cheer.
Yeah. A little
like-
shit, some juice for a minute
A
there.
little juice.
Good morning, San Francisco.
Is she okay with Dustin Diamond's passing? I feel like she was sort of a similar sort
Side.
of in a
Yeah.
parallel
She might have been
universe.
there.
Could have been there.
Maybe she was giving him CPR. Yeah.
How did he die again?
Stage 4 cancer. lung
No.
Cancer.
Oh yeah, there's no
No.
CPR for that.
Yeah,
Wait, really?
I just assumed
Yeah.
it was a drug overdose.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Nobody lived a better life than that guy. That guy lived the most life you could have possibly lived on this earth. He was a star during the 90s, did a porn, was like a bouncer for a few minutes.
Why is doing a porn cool?
I'm just saying he did it all. Like there's some
yeah.
things like you could be an
did
A-list
karate
star.
too,
You might
right?
wonder what it's like to do porn. Yeah, he like celebrity fought people.
Yeah.
Like,
Did he actually do karate?
I think. Well, he was at celebrity fight
Oh, okay.
matches. I
he
think.
definitely looks like a karate instructor.
Is-
Yeah, for
looked.
sure. Like
is
in Napoleon
karate a
Dynamite.
thing? Like is that an official?
I did karate for one day.
Yeah, but is that real or is that like Pilates, where it's like it's not a
Right.
thing exactly, but it's.
I think it's almost more of like a group therapy thing. Like no one signs up for karate being like, I'm about to kick some ass. They're like, I'm
Yeah.
about to work on some demons.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have to scream a word when you're punching something, it's like it's deeper than a physical activity.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I was just watching an episode of King of the Hill where Bobby was learning women's self-defense, and you got to scream, "That's my purse. I don't know you," and then kick in the nuts. And I was like, I want to go to women's self-defense. I need to learn to yell to assert myself.
I'm bad at self-defense. I did jujitsu for a little bit, and no part of me was like, I just kept being like, I don't want to hurt you, as if I had the power to hurt someone.
Is there some like kind of Rogan dojo that's like Joey Diaz and you? Like, was it like a recommendation?
No, kind of, but not really. Annie Letterman had been going to this one gym, so then I started going there. But then I was like, I don't have the desire to. It's like a skill that you have to like work at, and I'm like, I just want to see if I can fight people.
I'm
You had to go there to find out that it was a skill you had to work at.
Yeah.
She's like, there's not just like a certificate you're gonna hand me. I'm thinking about doing Krav Maga.
Oh,
That's a betrayal, is it not?
Yeah.
I feel like I can make some people sweat by being in the room, you know?
Dude, you are.
Palestinian who knows Krav Maga.
That's wild.
Dude, not bad, right?
You really are a man with no home.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's great.
I was going to say, that wasn't, I forgot, that was a pressure point in the beginning of our friendship, wasn't it?
I think so, probably.
What, the Israeli-Palestinian thing?
Yeah.
She told me like a bit.
Because you went to Israel.
I did. I went on Birthright.
Allie told me that she thought that the blockade in Gaza Strip was justified.
I did not.
Could you imagine that?
I did not. I don't even really know anything about it. I'm too uneducated.
I just remember we were like, I was like, man, this Allie chick is really cool, man. We're gonna like really get along. And then she like was like, well, I'm doing this like new chunk or whatever. Like, tell me what you think about it. And it was just like,
Israel.
I was on Birthright. I stepped on a Palestinian
With Gal Gadot.
ruled, yeah, baklava is actually Israeli.
Netanyahu's bae.
Falafel is the shit. It's our food.
Yeah.
Netanyahu is bad.
Yeah. Netanyahu's bae. It's my new merch.
The new guy, Benny Gantz, he's a looker. The new prime minister. Well, actually, Netanyahu's refusing to leave.
Yeah.
It's cool to live in a country where you're like, you know what? I'm not going.
Strong willpower, courage. Yeah. I think that's what it represents.
Yeah.
Do you think I could run for president?
Anybody can run.
Yeah.
Jello Biafra ran a pig in the 70s.
All you need is an exploratory committee. It's like $1,500 to file.
Yeah, you used to work in politics.
This is no bit. I need to emphasize this. I was the political campaign manager for an obscure libertarian politician in Orange County.
As opposed to all those mainstream libertarian politicians.
Well, that's, I think, the point. That's the point I want to make is in the Libertarian Party, people were like, that guy's a little weird.
Did he wear a boot on his head?
At the convention, the speaker was like wearing a Star Wars shirt or something.
No.
It was like the most unofficial thing ever.
Elmo pajama pants?
Yeah, it was rough. But yeah, so, you know, I know the process of filing for
An exploratory committee. What is that?
It's it's like a committee that comes together and their entire role is to say that they're working together to figure out whether or not you should run for office.
And you have to do that?
Have to do it. It's a formality.
Do libertarians even think that they're going to ever win? Like, what's the point of it? I don't understand, like, Green Party and libertarians running because there's really never going to be, in the foreseeable future, a time when they would likely win.
They just want to get paid to tour so they can sell books. You know what I mean?
That's like comedians.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
I'm just trying to get these shirts out. I don't even care about the bits anymore. I just need a catchphrase.
Yeah. You know, exactly. So I remember when I was in, it was 2013 and, or 12. I mean, Gary Johnson was running for president. And when I met him,
GJ.
Yeah, he was wearing a V-neck.
Deep V or regular V?
Oh, it was a pretty deep V. Yeah.
But that was but to be fair, 2012 was the time for V's.
Fair, but I have a policy. If I know what your chest looks like, I will never vote for you as president. It's just how it is. It's too much into his neck that I found out what his chest looked like.
What about all those sexy ass photos of JFK on the yachts?
Well, you know, I would have never voted for JFK, but yeah, absolutely not. But fair enough. But yeah, he was wearing like bell-bottom jeans, like sandals.
No, bell bottoms and sandals.
Yeah, he had like sandals and
the
like
deep V.
Rainbow sandals.
He had like rainbow sandals with the tag still on.
Yeah, of course. He's trying to wait until they fall apart so he can get a free new pair.
God.
That's the rainbow deal.
Here's the sad thing. Okay,
I guarantee you, Gary knows that for sure. There's no way.
Libertarians know the loopholes.
Yeah. At the end of it was up until that meeting, I fully believed that libertarians could do it. And then when I met him, I realized it was over.
Dude, I used to do that rainbow deal, but with Patagonia, Columbia, and LL Bean, where I would go to thrift stores and I would buy all the Patagonia, Columbia, and LL Bean and return them to all those
you
stores.
You didn't need like an original receipt or anything?
Nope. They'll give you a replacement or store credit. Then you get like a brand new bicycle. You sell that on Craigslist.
You guys are bold. I would never do anything like that.
Don't throw me in that category.
Dude, I feel so bad betraying a corporate policy like that. I won't even use the bathroom at a place unless I'm a customer. Hands down. I won't. It's just how I roll.
I rip the bathroom and I say, thank you.
Really?
Yeah.
I just went nuts in a grossry outlet bathroom earlier today.
Oh, grocery store bathrooms are okay. That's fine.
Grocery store bathrooms.
That's like an airport bathroom. It's
every time I've gone to the grocery store, every bag of grapes have been half eaten.
That's
some of us get a little hungry. Some of us have glycemic issues.
Yeah.
Maybe we need a few grapes while we're in the grocery store.
My dad would always get like a produce item, like an orange or grapes, and just eat them in the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be like, I'm allowed to do this. And I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't mean you should.
Right. Well,
He's eating them. But here's the thing. It's not like my dad's respectfully
Does he put the
eating an
rind?
orange. He's eating the entire orange in one bite.
Yeah.
Like an apple?
Yes.
What an animal.
I know.
All right, I'm off board now.
No more Larry.
You got to break the wedges up.
My dad eats
And then you make little monkey mouths.
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore. But when I was a kid, I could do that. It was cute.
See why Jennifer pieced out.
Yeah.
I mean,
With
many
that kind of
reasons.
behavior.
Yeah. My dad says he used to eat peaches whole, like including the pit.
That's not even possible, is
Yeah.
it? Wow.
That's such a funny brag.
It's so weird.
Yeah, dude.
My
I swallowed
parents-
pit everything. It's just like loud at a bar.
My parents have the
Talking
weirdest
to a
brags.
girl.
That is literally one of my dad's brags is that he used to eat peaches, including the pit, and my mom's brag is that she's never been into a Walmart. Like, it doesn't make you better than anyone.
Did she go to a Target?
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't
She calls
matter.
it Target, though, so it's different.
Yeah, I mean,
That's interesting. I never heard that before.
Yeah.
A little French.
Well, when I was young, I didn't know that was a thing, so I genuinely thought that it was like a fancy version of Target.
My dad's big brags are, it's actually, I introduced him to this. There's websites that collect all the class action lawsuits. Like if, say, Odwella sold something that wasn't organic and they promote it as organic and there's a lawsuit. So he joins all of them and he'll call me and he'll be like, It'll be FaceTime, and the FaceTime will be ready, held up on the check. It'll say $36 from Odwalla Juices or whatever. You're like, got another class action suit. He goes, and then I got one today, $102 on Bumble.
Whoa.
There was a class action suit against Bumble.
For what?
I don't know.
data breach, probably. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Are you careful about your passwords?
You know, I just recently got really careful about my.
Yeah.
I've become very paranoid about my passwords. I have a pretty sizable cryptocurrency fortune that I'm really terrified of losing. And
Do you actually?
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's one of the most sizable fortunes in this room, probably. I'll say. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm looking around the house. You know what? Never mind. Third.
Yeah. Do you have a moat? Until you get a moat, I think.
We had to pass through several rooms just to get here.
Yeah.
A gate, a moat,
Yeah.
stairs. Have you heard about NFTs?
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely.
Are you into it?
I'm thinking about releasing my own semi or possibly non-fungible token.
I want to do that.
Okay,
too.
I was like, is this a dietary supplement? I was
Non-fungible
out.
token. It's like I don't even know how to explain it, but I'm on the Clubhouse app now. It's so annoying. I hate it.
What's your handle? How does it work? I
Probably
don't know.
not Ally Mac.
Don't
But
worry
it's-
about it, Brian. You're not going to get invited. It's not a big deal for you. I wouldn't worry about it too much.
I was thinking I'm opening an exploratory committee to see if I should check out Clubhouse.
I've got a pretty good blockade against you.
It is the weirdest place. People can talk about anything. You open up these chat rooms, you talk to whoever, whenever, for how long. And people are just all talking about non-fungible tokens right now. And it's the weird. I don't want to
they're
get into
NFTs.
it.
Yeah.
NFTs, yeah.
Oh.
In essence, it would be like if people bought like shares of Ali's work.
I could release a special using a non-fungible token, and if people, it's essentially like stocks, but for yourself and for your work.
As
And
a
so-
collector, you could own it and go, man, I got a piece of that. And then if Ali becomes like super famous, which, I mean, who knows if that's going to go, but if she becomes super famous, you could go like, oh, I'm going to trade it for more money because it's like,
and then
Yes.
I get money each time it's sold.
it's
Right.
vinyls for you.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
For people of your generation.
Yeah, my
Now imagine if it was the Rolling
few
Stones.
years older than you, dog.
Dude, no
My
way,
first
man.
album was a CD, though. You probably didn't have CDs, did you?
When I was starting, comics put out CDs, and I was just like,
No. I meant my
Oh.
first album, like music,
we've
when I was a
talked
kid.
about this. My first album, or my first
Wait, let me
CD.
remember. No Doubt?
No.
Oh, it was Green Day.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which album?
American Idiot.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think
Changed my life.
This is going to bother you so much, Brian. Do you know which one mine is? It's not what you think it is.
your first
Cat
album,
Stevens.
Omar Soleiman.
Dude, you got to hear him do the
Yeah.
Fatha.
Yeah.
It rules, dude.
Is it like a Lebanese wedding comp?
Very funny, but you can't play that at a wedding. You know that. The Offspring, Americana.
Oh yeah.
Don't you love The Offspring?
Oh God. Yeah,
me setting
Green Day and
Brian
The
up.
Offspring.
This is me setting Brian up for a radio bit. Hey, don't you, Brian? What do you think about The
The
Offspring?
Offspring is literally the worst band that has ever happened to music.
Do they sing the song With a Thousand Lives?
Yeah, they also sing Pretty Fly for a white guy.
Oh yeah, that's a banger.
Dude, first of all, banger. Second of all, him as an entrepreneur rules. Dexter, what's his name? Dexter
Holland.
Anyone named Dexter can't be taken seriously.
Dude, he's like a
You know what the guitar
virologist.
player's name is?
I have no idea.
Chester.
Noodle? I think it's Noodle. It might be Noodles.
I would never waste my time learning
they're
the
the
guitar
worst.
player of Offspring's name. You only know the singer's name, maybe the drummer. What a waste of time. Like, oh, this Noodle. Who cares?
Have you heard of the pianist from The
Yeah.
Offspring?
Stupid.
The studio?
pianist?
I don't know. I'm just trying to riff.
No, I'm
gonna
making.
go.
No, I was making myself like. There's no piano in The Offspring. Oh Christ!
The Offspring is from Orange County, by the
you
way.
okay?
Allie.
No, I'm not okay.
What's wrong?
No, nothing.
It's not enough about you right now, is it?
No, it's never enough about me.
I was so worried about that coming in. I was like, don't talk too much, Ramsey. Sometimes you can talk a little too much.
No, I love it because honestly, when I have guests, I just want them to say whatever and me do the most minimal amount of work. And I also think you guys are so funny and you guys have a great podcast of your own called Worst Hour Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I figured, why not give my audience a little taste of what that would be like? And
Yeah.
I can just sit back and enjoy the show.
Every Tuesday nights at midnight.
Yeah, it's sort of like
Strange release time, but
we call it
every Tuesday night at midnight.
Eastern. We like to call
That
it.
was Ramsey's idea.
I would describe the show as the white man's Al Jazeera, but pre-Al Gore Al Jazeera, like the gross Al Jazeera. Because
Yeah.
Al Jazeera, I don't know if you know this or not, but in like 2003, it would be like beheadings at like 8 a.m. in the morning kind of thing.
Yeah, this is like Ramsey getting his lunchbox ready.
Yeah, so
His parents are playing this.
Brian and I approach just Al Jazeera stories from the
His pita
point of
chips.
view. Can I finish telling what the podcast is about?
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to fucking get us some
I'm
listeners.
sorry. Keep going.
So it's kind of like this podcast, sort of like a morning Zoom.
How long did you rehearse this in the car on your way over here?
I really did. This morning in the shower, I was
I
like,
know.
be prepared.
Talking points, just in case it gets dry. What am I going to mention?
Have a 30-second pitch.
All right, wait, ready? Go for it.
Okay. It's kind of like, it's over, man. It's over. Whatever. If you guys want to listen to it, it'd be great. Sorry, go ahead, Allie.
I have nothing.
We're kind of like Democracy Now. Democracy Now for undecided voters. Could that be vague enough?
I just feel like you should have ran this by me before you ran your pitch.
What's this podcast about?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, it started as like just me talking because I felt like I started it when things were like picking up for me. So I'm like, oh, it might be fun to kind of like talk every week about what's going on. And now that COVID's hit, I'm just having other people do the pod for me.
Right.
It's pretty good. Brian and I are working on doing an algorithm that does the podcast for us every
Yeah.
Tuesday.
We would love to have AI replace us as hosts.
Just completely
yeah.
do it, and
Yeah.
that's why we're out completely.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
We do contests to try to get people to do bits for us, so maybe we could.
Really?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
could
we
do
have
that as
one.
well.
We have one contest right now. America's Next Top Podcaster.
Yeah,
And so
How
we're
does that work?
we're trying to have people send in their radio bits or their podcast bits that they think could, eventually become a show.
yeah.
And then we play that on there and we let the fans vote.
We give our feedback on
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
whether we would have done the bit or like, I probably would have come in with less information on that bit, and then
right.
it's like,
The clothes need to come off quicker. Things like
Do
that.
people get really sensitive if you don't like their bit?
We're still collecting.
we're still in the process of
bits.
getting people to send us in worsthouroftheweek@gmail.com if you have a bit or something and you want to send it our way. We'll check it out and see what we think.
Yeah, so it's a long, it's a long con. We're going to
Yeah.
collect a bunch so that we could have an entire show where we just play people's bits.
Other people's bits. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Outsource the podcast.
Yeah. Every episode will just be like a greatest hits where we record it from Bermuda or somewhere far away.
That sounds
Exactly.
nice.
Club
that's
Med,
fun.
dude.
Yeah.
When are you going to back out of your stocks?
Me? Never. My stocks, I'm going to hold on to them until I die.
Where do you get your info?
Where do I get my info? Mainly, I literally follow YouTubers. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best advice, but I would say it's some of the greatest advice I've ever received.
Okay.
Just YouTubers or
I don't follow anybody too specifically. Then my portfolio gets
You're
weighted in a certain way.
gatekeeping You're gatekeeping.
No, here's my honest to God belief with stocks is, it's really obvious the shit that's inevitable, and then you just invest in whatever that is. You'll eventually make your money.
Are you invested in anything?
No. Oh, I have an app called, I think, like Acorns, and it does my investing for me.
It's garbage. It's fucking garbage.
You know what? I fucked up because now that I'm on TikTok, I see advertisements for Acorn, and it's like Ashton Kutcher promoting it and like The Rock, and I'm like, what have I done?
How
I
much
don't want
you
Ashton
would-
Kutcher being the face of my investment.
Oh
app.
no, I was like, yeah, that's like a time machine to
I know, but
2008.
now I can't take out, now I can't take out my money because I already have savings. It's like the IRA, Roth IRA, so I can only take it out when I'm 65.
Well, 59 and a half, but yeah. They're probably fucking linked up to some war criminals. I guarantee if you
100%.
link up and you see where Acorn is taking it, it's like Halliburton and fucking Northrop Grumman.
That's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever.
That's
So, are you seeing a return?
do you,
I think so. I don't know. I just tried to hope that I did the best.
what are your thoughts on Bitcoin?
All that stuff stresses me out.
What stresses? I don't know what stresses people out about.
I'm
It's
just
the
not-
volatility, dog.
And I'm also just not knowledgeable enough to put money into something. And I also have a bad memory. And so I'm going to forget the passwords and I'm going to lose my money. And
Yeah, well, that's fine. Everybody has a price for freedom.
my savings and investment is every time I get cash, I put it in my jeans.
That's it.
And it accumulates over time. And then I wear jeans and I go, wow.
You ever
this is
change your
nice.
pants and not leave the house with nothing?
Yeah.
That happens to me all the time where I'm like, okay, I don't have my wallet, I don't have my keys,
Yeah.
I'm locked out of my house because I changed my fucking pants.
Yeah.
Let me manage both of your portfolios.
Okay.
I'm gonna be arrested in 10 years like Dane Cook's brother. You guys are gonna find money in my walls. That's what I'm gonna do here. I'm playing comedy just long enough so I can get around as like an investment dude, and I'm gonna fucking just do everyone's portfolios for them.
Yeah, that's
where
a
I
great
think I'm moving.
move. We'll start having guests on, and then as on their way out, you put your arm around them, you give them a pitch. By the way, what are your thoughts
Electric
on it?
vehicles. China's a booming market right now.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Very true.
Is your new car electric?
Nope. I have a 2018 Kia Sportage.
Gas powered.
What car do you have?
It doesn't matter what car.
Last time I remember, it was beat up.
It's a 1998 Toyota Camry, but that's because all my money's in Tesla, baby.
It probably would be a better investment to just buy a Tesla.
It might be, yeah. But then I wouldn't make Elon richer.
Right.
So
What do you guys think about comedy right now?
does comedy?
I try not to.
Yeah, does it exist
know.
right now?
I don't know.
I feel like it doesn't exist.
I heard that California is going to be opening as early as Tuesday.
I have a show booked I believe indoors in California on March 27th.
Oh yeah, it's turquoise right now.
Is that
I like when
what we're
What's
doing
This
right
color
now?
I know, I just
system.
love
They're
the confusing
It's
one.
amethyst. I was
Yeah.
at the gem store and they told me that we're in a jade.
Yeah, it's auburn right now. I would say it's auburn yellow, so that means you can walk out with one mask.
Right, but you can't hold hands.
Don't skip the kissing.
Yeah.
Even if you guys are hooking up.
Doesn't matter.
The COVID aura is off right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Comedy right now, it's like I just got back into the comedy world right now, like in the last week. As things
Yeah.
are opening up, I'm seeing other comics around doing some shows, and I forgot how fucking toxic and like dark and weird
Yeah.
it is. Like,
I've also realized how much I don't enjoy socializing.
yeah.
It's been like such an adjustment because I feel like I was so used to just like talking to people so much when I was out at shows. And now when I do shows, I kind of like almost isolate.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm very, like I get very like closed off.
Yeah, the hanging out was always my least. I never liked any aspect of comedy other than doing it.
Yeah.
Every other part of it. Oh, and the TSA. I like TSA a lot.
There is a nice like relief of responsibility now though to be like, I'd love to be out doing shit right now, but I'm not, for COVID, of course.
Right. I'm
for the first
vulnerable.
responders, I don't want to go out and do any open mics.
I was
Yeah.
just clapping for them a couple months ago.
So-
I can't have them clap at my jokes. It feels
Yeah, it's
inappropriate.
a little dangerous right now.
insensitive.
You've been down to Texas since it's kind of opened
Yeah.
up, right? What's it feel like for you being in a room like
The
with
first
people
time
just
I was
breathing?
there, I was like, oh God, like this is a bad look. But I was also like, these people are going to go out to the show regardless. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm there or someone else. Like, they're going to be out at this comedy show.
Right.
So I can be in control of how safe I am. Like, they're going to be reckless no matter what. And also, I'm not the most COVID safe person. I mean, I have been more recently, but like, I don't know. It was very weird at first. And I felt bad. And then I kind of just rationalized it and decided to do it again.
I really enjoyed watching the first people who went back out because there are people who were not very active during the election season. They're the kind of comedians that don't tell you to vote. They don't tell you who to vote for.
Yeah,
they were all Trumpers, basically. The first people went out on the road. It was hilarious because you're like, oh yeah, it's the clean comic who doesn't ever say anything is back on the road.
No, I don't think that's true. I think the first people back on the road, it was like a function of who had the most merch in their trunk at that particular time. So people who got back on the road for sure always had too much merch. So it was like there was like a equation you could do to figure out how much time.
Are you selling merch?
No.
No.
Ryan and I are. If you guys want to check it out, worsthouroftheweek@gmail.com. We'll send you the store.
Yeah, just send us $20 and we'll send you something.
Tax purposes.
Yeah.
I was selling like merch on my website, but it's such a schlep to bring merch to a show. I feel like it's just so much more convenient. And it's also like this weird thing where you're like, after the show, you have a great set or a bad set. And then you're like, can you also get this shirt? I'm like, if you want a shirt, just get it on my website.
Oh, there's nothing worse than selling a shirt after a really bad set.
I'll just get a regular fucking job at that point. If I'm going to sell shit, I'll just go to Hot Topic.
You just start bussing tables. You ever bump so bad you start bussing tables after the show?
Let me hop behind the bar.
Yeah.
I make a couple drinks.
I definitely bombed so bad before where I had food tickets and I was like, I'm not going to bother the wait staff here. I'm going.
I don't deserve it.
I'm not making somebody flip a burger for the shit I just did.
You give your food tickets to like your friend who was at the show. You're like, you get something
totally
on
fine.
me.
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually done that.
Yeah,
before.
me too. Sorry for making you come out.
Here's some chicken fingers.
Yeah. I had merch that I was selling on my website, and then I realized that there were like 4 shirts that didn't get sold, so I'm gonna sell those, but that's it.
Yeah, are you gonna do some kind of alley shit where you're like, I wore it for a week straight?
No, I'm not gonna. They're packaged, so I'm not gonna wear them. But they're the only ones I have. Yeah, there was one shirt that I got from. So when I like made the shirts, there was one shirt that they're like, you can wear this and see if you like the quality and whatever. And so I wore it just like for 3 weeks, and then I eBay auctioned it.
Unwashed.
And then these ones, I'm just going to say I'm never making these shirts again. And these are the last ones. So you pick the price.
Right. Was there a good market for an unwashed alley Mccoskey
Surprisingly,
shirt?
yeah. I was nervous. The bidding was not going to go through. Like someone was going to bid 20 and then that was going to be it. Like there were going to be no like competing bids.
Yeah. If somebody's going to creep on you, want them to be rich. You don't want a poor creeper.
Yeah. And then my sister was like trying to up the bid. So more so it would go higher.
Oh yeah. Totally. Love that.
Yeah. An auctioneer plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then she was bidding on it. Yeah. And then it sold
with
for
a ping pong paddle.
She's wearing a fake mustache.
Yeah.
And then my friends work at this clothing store and they were doing like an Instagram live shirt auction. And I started racketeering and I was like raising the price for them, like trying to be a good friend. And no one outbid me. Ooh. And I ended up spending like $130 on a Michael Jordan t-shirt.
Do you still have the shirt?
It's being sent to me.
Wow.
You got a Michael, is it like a dude's?
It's a vintage shirt.
It better be.
Yeah.
Who's making new Michael Jordan shirts?
It's a pretty lucrative market. I'm in right now.
He just got to China.
Yeah, he's huge over there.
He's huge over there.
Do you have a don't ask, don't tell policy with the shirt? Like, do you want to know what the person is doing with it once they receive it? Do they sometimes give you an unwanted, like, here's me naked in your shirt? Like, what's that like?
This dude was cool. His name's Tyler. He lives in Washington. I told him, I was like...
State or D.C.?
State.
I always do that.
Washington
I know it's
State.
so irrelevant.
I do the same thing with Korea. When somebody tells me they're Korean, I go north or south.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good time.
Good bit.
Yeah.
And I asked him if he had smelled the armpits. I wanted to know.
Did he?
I think I made him, you know. He said it smelled good, but I don't know. I wore it for a long time.
Were you skating in it?
I was doing everything in it. Sleeping in it, eating in it. There were like a couple of food stains.
Yeah.
And wait, may I ask what the price was?
It sold for $900.
Good for him, dude. I would love to feel
That was his whole stimulus check. I bet he's not even like.
I was thrilled. He was cool. He wasn't like a weirdo. He was just like.
I'm not knocking him. It's just that's fucking wild.
It's
crazy.
stimulus or PPP loan. One of the two things.
What's a PPP loan? Because I just saw.
You should definitely apply for the PPP loan. I'm telling every
Ramsey
topic I know.
emailed me yesterday.
I emailed Bryan.
To buy, with all sincerity.
And since Bryan and I have a very unhealthy relationship with one another where we communicate 6 times a day on 8 different platforms. I'll go like Google Chat, email, text on a separate
Facebook
line.
Messenger.
It's got to the point where if anything's urgent, I have to send like a link tree out, and I'm gonna have to send the same information to like 9 different platforms, desperately hoping he's checking one of them.
If you're a comic or anybody who makes makes money on a independent contractor basis, you qualify for money with a PPP loan. So. And they'll even give you your money, like they'll look at the income that you make gross before like you spent on like, expenses like traveling and whatever.
Yeah.
So you could get like a $30,000 loan, which you don't have to pay back.
Ever.
As long as you
That's not
use
a
it
loan,
the proper
then.
ways. They call it a loan because they wanted to give people more money, but they didn't know how. It was like, but
What's the catch?
the catch is you have to be white and understand our laws. That's the catch. You
Yeah.
have to be white and not scared to apply. Like, that's what it is. Because you go to my parents and I was like, take the loan. And they were like, no, we don't want to get wrapped up in a loan. We don't want to get fucked
Right.
over.
That's
But
my thought.
Meanwhile, you're not white. I'm talking about white.
Yeah, I
kids,
know.
you
I'm always described as eggshell.
I'm
I'm
talking.
economically non-white.
Look, Bryan, I'm talking about white people. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
You. PPP loan down here. I'll tell you that, man.
Yeah.
You got to. No, there's no catch. There's like 20 rules. All the rules are like. But the thing is you're actually a legitimate business.
Yeah.
So you're not stealing the money. Comedians have such low self-esteem. They're like, that's not what I do.
deserve it.
That's not what I do. It's like, no, you're a business, dude.
I mean, I spend every waking minute trying to make this happen, but I'm not. It's not real.
Yeah, it's all I
It's
think
not-
about. I cry every night.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, dudes who make paper clips are taking these loans.
Yeah.
That's true. I have a friend who I think it was a PPP and I didn't know what it was. And I was like, oh, she's totally scamming her way into getting money.
Well, I saw with the first like stimulus payments and everything, the news in California said that like a third of the like 11 billion that came to California, or 100 billion, whatever it was, a third of it was taken by criminals. And I was like, the old me would have been in that.
Yeah.
I would have figured that out. But maybe I'll do this.
Why hasn't Biden given us money?
Dude, don't even get me started. You know what? That's a different podcast,
No.
dude. I don't know.
It's
Actually, I don't know.
first of all, it's Biden. All he can do is sign a bill that needs to get through the House.
Why hasn't it gone through?
That's the question. Joe Biden will sign anything. He's dead.
Yeah.
He'll just move his hand with
flesh.
marionette strings and he'll sign it.
Weekend at Biden's?
People are like, Biden is bombing Syria. I'm like, Biden is looking for his keys. He's not bombing Syria.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It's like, he's not very engaged from what I can tell.
I do want to say Weekend at Biden's was pretty funny, and I don't feel like you guys get me.
I feel like that
anything
one's
on
been
it.
done.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't spend a lot of time online.
Not true.
That's like I have to do that. That's what my mother would do to brush it off. Like, it's fine. No big deal.
Yeah, that's why I'm scared to tweet. I took a huge break from tweeting, a huge break, and then when I send a tweet out, I'm like, that's had to have been said 1,000 times because I don't keep up with it.
Yes, and that's what's annoying is because I'll be on TikTok for so many hours to the point where now I'm seeing bits that I've done. Not to say that like anyone's stealing my bits.
Right.
I don't think so, but it's like you see enough content that there's bound to be someone making the same. And I'm like, well, now do I retire the joke? Is it still fair game? Like,
hey, if it's true to you.
Yeah, at the fair game, I'm like, dude, there's only 8 jokes in the world ever. And they're
Yeah.
all, you could take a million different subjects and just do all 8 of the jokes. So it's like, who gives a shit?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, jokes are stupid.
Jokes are
Jokes
so
are so
dumb.
stupid.
It's all about, that's why you gotta be you up there.
What feedback do you have about my stand-up? What do you think are the what do you think I need to work on? Because you actually gave me one of the first real pieces of advice that I carried with me because you had seen me from the start of my open mic career.
Yeah.
And then we did that show in Brea, and it was my first time doing a club, and I didn't do as well as I wanted to. And you said, Allie, you're doing open mic jokes at a comedy club. You're doing jokes that work in front of other comedians and not in front of a real audience.
Yeah. Ever since I started comedy, I was always a 62-year-old roadhouse. It's like, sweetheart, let me tell you right now. Them's kids don't know nothing about comedy.
You got to find out where the poor neighborhood is in the city. And you got to say, geez, I got lost. And now I was in, Riverbrook. That's comedy.
Oh, Allie, I believed in you and no one believed in you.
I asked you for the advice. You weren't just like...
I have no feedback on anybody's comedy, period. I literally I feel like when I first started comedy, I was very much like, this dude sucks, or this chick's lame. I don't know. I didn't want to say sucks again.
Yeah. Word economy.
But
Everybody knows dude sucks and chicks are lame.
Yeah. Everyone knows
Boys
that.
are stupider. They go to Jupiter.
Whatever you're doing, man, as long as you're not taking money out of my pocket.
Oh, my God.
I haven't seen you do stand-up in a while.
Well, you saw me mid-COVID. We did an outdoor show.
Did we?
Yeah, in like a parking lot or something.
Oh, like on some fake grass in a parking lot?
You guys are both standing in a handicap stall somewhere. The outdoor dining is one of the most sad things on the planet.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Especially when it's like a nice, because nowhere in LA is nice.
Yeah.
There's no place in LA that is nice.
Yeah.
When you're on the sidewalk.
I'll tell you what, you're at a nice spot in an outdoor eating place as if you're in an EV parking only spot. That's a nice spot.
Yeah.
Dude, charge your phone.
Dude, Ramsey almost got shot in a parking garage. You know this?
Yeah, the Hollywood over here on, the Ralph's over here on Hollywood and Western. I was in my parking.
Those are my stomping grounds.
Dude, that's the sketchiest Ralph's on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
I used to live across the street from there.
Oh, yeah, we were neighbors.
Yeah, I was buying a boar's head sandwich to eat sadly by myself.
Sure.
What meat were you going with?
I don't
Roast
even
beef?
remember. It was like one of those ones where it's
Are you
like
a turkey guy?
ham, honey, something.
Oh, ham. He's saying, fuck you, Dad.
Yeah.
Some ham.
Ooh, can we cut that part out? I don't want anybody knowing I... Can you just bleep the kind of meat that I ate?
You could probably change it to haram. I don't know. That's bad, too.
Just insert the word turkey before ham. No, I was just like eating a
Are
sandwich.
you a car eater?
Yeah, I am.
I'm a big car
Me
eater.
too.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
finding an empty parking lot or a full parking lot and just
Whatever.
go into town.
I'm secretive about what I eat. I don't want you to know. I do it in
You're
my...
a Subway guy.
I'll eat anywhere,
Oh.
Subway included.
That breaks my heart.
Well, I don't go to Subway, but if I was hungry and I kind of wanted to, I would go to Subway.
I think if I was starving, I would refuse Subway.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
What's your sandwich shop for a chain?
Jersey Mike's.
More than Jimmy John's?
Yeah,
I like Jimmy John's.
I like Jersey Mike's.
True story. Brian and I, if our Patreon hits $15,000, we're going to open up a Subway.
Yeah, we're franchising a Subway.
Because it's the cheapest franchise.
Veterans
open.
discount I found out too.
Really?
Yeah. We can get a veterans discount on
I knew getting your
franchising.
name
a
on
You
it.
Subway.
really love milking that veteran discount.
Oh,
yeah, dude. I mean, listen. I
makes-
served this goddamn country.
It makes me
For
sick.
how long?
2 years, 9 months.
And then didn't you get dishonorably discharged?
No, it was an honorable discharge, but they did ask me to leave early. I did have a 6-year contract.
Oh, yeah. Didn't you go AWOL?
I did see Iron Maiden while I
Oh,
was
yeah.
AWOL.
Weren't you on drugs, too?
There may have... Listen, some things have happened.
You went and saw Iron Maiden, you old piece of shit.
Wait, but what happened?
They were already old. If I wasn't seeing them in 1975,
Still.
I wasn't dodging
Iron
Nam.
Maiden covered band.
You chose to bond with Vietnam vets, you fucking old...
Wait, what happened at Ralph's?
Oh yeah, so I was just there eating a sandwich, enjoying my time. Heard a woman arguing with the person. You know when you hear somebody arguing, it kind of you perk your attention, but you can kind of drown it out, especially at that Ralph's. But then it got more intense, and it got more intense, and it got more intense. And then the woman pulled out a gun and shot. She shot 4 times.
I love that. Girl power.
It was great. Person of color too. It was awesome.
Nice. Diversity, inclusion.
It was powerful.
Did
So,
she make any of the shots?
You know what?
Did she Wayne Gretzky it?
I don't know. I started crying without even I realized in the moment that I'm not cut for this.
Were you a crisis actor?
There was a 911 call that I'm pressuring California to delete.
I loved it.
I know. I want to hear it so bad.
I was
Help! Help!
Like, have you been shot? No.
I was
Did they shoot
panting.
you in the throat? What's going on?
I was,
Ma'am, did they shoot you in the throat?
I was breathing so heavy. I was like, I don't know. Is it a gun? I was like, what does a gun look like? I was like, they were like, was there a muzzle glow? I was like, oh my God, there was totally a muzzle glow.
What does that mean?
The flash at the end of a muzzle.
So dude, I learned how guns work after that. I didn't really understand how guns worked until I saw it happen.
That surprises me.
Well, I don't care.
I feel like you look up like war.
I'm not at all into guns in any capacity. Are you?
No.
Brian, you kind
Big
of like
time.
guns.
Yeah,
Really?
Right?
yeah, I love
He's
them.
from the South. He just has to.
Why'd you look at me like that?
I don't know, just surprising. Like I picture you being into guns would be like old school muskets.
Fuck you. No.
She
Not
just pictures
even
you with
close.
slave owner weapons.
Antebellum weapons. No, I've never shot a musket. I was in the military. The guns are fun.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But anyways, yeah. So I'd never seen a gun shot before, so
Yeah.
that was a wild experience. I reported it, and then I watched. I hopped on Citizen App. That was the only time Citizen App was fun.
Did you feel bad reporting a female girl boss, diverse shooter?
I did not know. I actually, because to me, I didn't see color in that moment. Well, I saw the gun.
The
but
red.
I
You saw the red in
from
the
Flash,
barrel.
But other than that, no color. Yeah, that was.
I
Then
want to
what
hear that
happened?
911 call
Did you
so
stay
bad.
there?
No. I fled.
On foot?
I got in my car. I backed out. I fucking killed 3 women on the way out. I just fucking gunned it, dude. I was so nervous.
Yeah, that's scary. I get so freaked out in those situations.
Oh, it's. Have you ever heard a
panic.
gun?
I don't know.
It's literally such a deafening noise. There's gonna be people who are gonna like.
You fired a gun, haven't you?
Yeah. I have heard a gun.
You just strike. Yeah,
I just block things out of my memory
Yeah,
so
that's
quickly.
a really traumatic sound.
Yeah.
So.
Shooting a
Yeah, I
gun?
remember being at an open gun range, the Angeles Mountain
Yeah.
Forest Range or whatever.
I go there.
And I had the
Earmuffs?
earmuffs on, and it was so loud even through the earmuffs. And being in an open space where, like, if I go oopsie, it was my first time there. And it's like I could have just been like, whoops, and shot someone. I was freaking out.
Yeah.
And it was after, I think, like, some school shooting, so it could have been at any time.
It's always after a school shooting.
Yeah, I was there,
That's-
and I like felt wrong being there.
Well,
Yeah.
and that was the thing that freaked me out was when the shooting started happening, people began to run in like different directions, so
Yeah.
you didn't know where everything was coming from. What if I just started crying? Like, I just never got over it.
Dude.
I'm just stuck here for the
Was
rest
it?
of the
Wait, so did you hear what happened? Like, was there a news article or anything about it?
Yeah, so what was on Citizen, it had initially been reported as like not true. So I was like kind of upset.
That's what I hate
Right.
about Citizen.
They're not
is
believing you.
people,
Exactly.
People love the Citizen app, but I'm like, so much of that is false
It's
information.
false completely. Like they were like, it's not true. So in that moment, there could have been like an active shooter, and they're like, don't worry about it. Everybody
Yeah,
get
it's
in there.
just some pranky punk.
But then a couple minutes later, they had like updated it to be like they found the shell casings again. Then I had to learn how guns work. It's fucking wild. You don't even want to know, dude.
Did she kill anyone or just?
They don't think anybody was killed. They think that she just shot and got it like put a couple holes in her car. Maybe she was trying to scare the person. But they didn't find a dead body.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be fun when the NRA starts using 2020 as a reason, like when gun control eventually starts to go through with this new house where they're like, dude, school shootings in 2020 went down 100%.
yeah.
And they're just going to completely lobby with all that.
Didn't you see there was like an article like when schools went back to school, there was already like the first school shooting. It was like
Really?
schools had just gone back. Yeah, I think Mark Norman posted about it.
Yeah, that's why I tell people you can't regulate school shootings. You're just going to make kids want to do it more.
You just gotta
Wait,
let-
I don't get that joke.
It
went over my head.
It's a libertarian joke. It's fine. You're a libertarian fans.
Anthony, on the last episode that we recorded right before this episode, when he comes back, we'll talk about it. But we were talking about regulation with guns, and he's like, "Well, Anthony, what were you saying about it?"
I was saying that like if you take away
everyone's freedom, the bad people are still gonna have the guns.
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with this argument.
Which I'm like, yeah, of course, but you should still regulate it.
But also,
Like
a good person with a gun can become a bad person with a gun with one emotional swing.
That's the thing. So I watch a lot of like YouTube amateur documentaries on like true crime stuff. So much of those stories start with like just a person lost it, and you go like, there is some element of that.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. So
Yeah, yesterday I was on the 101 and some people could have gone down.
Taking everyone's
That was
guns
in rush
is not
hour.
a solution, though. That's not the solution.
No, and I don't think that that's what needs to happen. But what do you think is justifiable murder?
Oh, fuck. Wow.
I've thought about this a lot. I actually wanted to do a stand-up show where people tell a story about when they were actually there. They reached that emotional level where they would have killed somebody.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'd prefer that you didn't do it because I don't want to Skype in from prison or whatever. But like, I've gotten there.
What do you think are justifiable?
I don't know. If I had murdered the person I would have murdered, I don't think it would have been justifiable. But I would have had a pretty decent case.
Yeah.
But justifiable murder, most murders I would feel like are just.
No.
This is a tough question for me because I was skewed. I grew up really intensely Muslim, and there's a lot of justifiable murders that happen.
Honor killings.
That I grew up thinking like, well, that's of course fine, obviously.
Like what?
Yeah,
If your cousin
collaborator.
if your cousin wears a T-shirt, what are you gonna do?
She put jeans on.
There's a lot of fucking walk around wearing a T-shirt.
Venice Beach Gold's Gym muscle tee.
No, but truly, there was some weird thinking. So when I became a more of an adult, I feel like I became more skewed to where I'm like, I don't know, so I don't know.
What's your favorite kind of crime?
Heists.
Women. Oh.
Sorry.
Like women against like their husbands.
Oh,
like
I love those.
Snatch.
Jodi Arias is good.
Yeah.
You like Jodi Arias?
Yeah.
Jodi Arias rules. Who's another good
But
version of
a
that?
successful diamond heist? How's that boring?
It's too easy to understand. I like a one where I'm like, what the fuck is happening here?
What led them to that point?
Casey Anthony, like I know everybody knows Casey Anthony, but if you look into the details, there are like recordings of her pretending to give the police officers a tour of a place she didn't work ever. Mm-hmm. Do you know how fucking insane that is? She's walking cops being like, hold on, let me see if Jose's here.
Right.
She's pretending.
Wait, what?
Yes, there's like that in the level of insanity on that woman is so fucking remarkable. So the jewel heist thing, I go like,
I don't like you waving your hand at a jewel heist. I mean, I've seen the Italian Job. You've got to fucking pretend to be a cable guy. You've got to install security cameras. You've got to go over. You got to spray liquids to get through the lasers.
You like the Pink Panther style?
Yeah.
I like mom.
I really don't appreciate either of your
Those
attitudes.
are crazy. The family murders.
Oh,
those
Chris
are
Watts,
nuts.
dude. Chris Watts.
Yeah,
Chris Benoit is a good one too.
Chris Benoit's on the great
Who's
thing.
that?
That's the wrestler. Killed his kids and his wife.
Dude, Chris Watts had like a fucking affair on his wife and then just like killed his kids and threw him in like an oil tank.
In a well.
In a well. Like that story, and then the whole thing is like on body cam.
Yeah.
Right.
That thing is fucking
I got to tell you
twisted,
what, I
bro.
misunderstood your question. I thought you were like, if I could do a crime myself.
No,
what-
just like your
Chris Dorner is my favorite
crime
crime that's ever happened.
So fascinating.
Yeah, Chris Dorner and the Unabomber are my 1 and 2s right there.
I
Those are
support
people
cops,
who.
So.
Chris Dorner and Ted Kaczynski are my political ilk.
Yeah.
What about like John Bonet, the ones that are unsolved?
Yeah.
I didn't find her that cute.
Just because they're so rich, I got a little annoyed with them
didn't.
too. Like I kind of was like, you're making her be a beauty queen. Like you were asking for it to the parents.
Yeah,
on that
yeah,
one. Like,
yeah.
That was like not Elizabeth Smart. I can kind of get a little more on board with that one. You're like, she was kind of just abducted at night, like.
Right, but then you would read like just last
I'm
week.
blaming John.
If you
Bonet.
look at the
Sorry, that was the Muslim.
if you look at the silver lining, it's like if I had known getting kidnapped would get me on Oprah, sign me up.
Yeah, for sure.
And she's got a TV show now on Crime TV. Pretty good. It's like Smart on Crime or something. So,
Oprah does?
No. Elizabeth Smart.
Oprah into
She does. What doesn't that gal do?
She does it all. She's working on a few.
But you just read like last week, like 397 Libyan children were kidnapped at once.
Come
and
on.
Nobody even knows.
Is that true?
Yeah.
How do you kidnap that many people
Nigerian.
at once?
Nigerian, yeah. It's Boko
Haram is a terrorist group
Yeah.
that operates in Africa, and they're very efficient. They don't kidnap anybody less than
I
by the
haven't heard
100.
that name in years.
Boko Haram?
Yeah,
It's one of the.
that used to be a hot word back in the day. I remember.
Yeah,
One of the
they're hardcore right now. They're
yeah,
on fire.
One of the most refreshing sounding terrorist names.
Yeah.
Do you
Boko
think
Haram.
ISIS is like like if I had ISIS on the podcast, I'd be like, who are your influences? Do you think they like look up to different terrorist groups?
Yeah, look, Zarqawi. peace be unto him,
Peace
is
I didn't know he got that. If you had said Muhammad, I would have been right there for you.
Thank you. Brian, I've trained Brian up into a lot of the Muslim traditions. So when you say, like when you bring up the Prophet Muhammad, a Muslim tradition is you have to stop and everybody has to say peace be unto him.
Peace be unto him.
PBUH.
Ali, I'd appreciate if you maybe stayed out of this one just for the optics.
Is
you
my
know.
hair not covered enough?
Well, that's kind of the thing, and the birthright thing. It's going to be confusing. It'll be a challenging conversation. No, I think they definitely have their terrorist influences for sure. I mean, Zarqawi was
They're like Boko Haram's deep cuts.
dude. There's a great book by a guy named Joby Warwick called Black Flags, where they talked about the rise of ISIS, and there's a good, hilarious, Act 1 of a movie where they're like trying to blow up a porn theater and they couldn't figure it out. Like one of the guys blows up his own legs.
Where is the porn theater?
It's in like Jordan. It's like a secret porn theater. There's not a lot of open porn theaters there.
Right, right.
Or anything. Or just regular theaters where they just show cinema.
Yeah.
I had a very challenging relationship with the country of Jordan. I spent a lot of time there.
It's not like a real place, is it? Like
No, it's a...
No, I mean,
like
like, I guess what
I
I
think
mean
I have
is...
some Middle Eastern listeners.
Do you
just a
really?
heads up. Yeah,
Oh,
there was
yeah.
a guy who subscribed to my Patreon. He was like living in, I think, like
Abdulaziz Rahman, some kind of like super long name.
yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's like, yeah, it did sound exactly
Yeah.
like
I
that.
think that was him. Is that your cousin?
I meant the king is not like a real thing. Like we've talked about it on our own podcast, but the king of Jordan has a British accent.
Yeah. It's
So
a
you're
completely
like,
fake
what
country.
what is that?
Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah.
Hello, I'm the president of Jordan.
That's really what he sounds
Yeah.
like.
Fancy a pita chip.
He reads Arabic and English, but like it looks like it's in Arabic.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just a weird font.
It's phonetic spelling,
Yeah,
hooked
yeah,
on
yeah.
phonics. Yeah.
it's good times, man.
Hello.
The
Peace be unto him.
Shout out Muhammad.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
Isn't
like
it?
a grime rapper
Yeah, for real.
turned king.
Have you ever heard of the rapper El Jinni? He's the guy who ended up being one of the most famous terrorists in the world.
No.
El Jinni is a
You know so much
yeah,
about
it's-
things.
It's true. Well, I know so much about one subject.
Terrorist group?
Two,
That's Algerian
3,
rap.
4. It's Algerian rap, cryptocurrency, electric vehicle stocks, energy drinks. Those are my 4 sort of things. Emo, I would say, probably in the mix too.
Oh, yeah. Big emo guy.
But El Jinni is a rapper in Britain who ended up being like one of the most famous terrorists. His name is Jihad John. He was like,
That's a fun name.
yeah, he's got a good video of him cutting a dude's head off, like a famous video.
I've
You
seen
have to
it.
have a sharp knife for that.
Tell me about it.
Imagine trying to cut like your first beheading video and you got a dull knife.
I say there's a partnership with Ronco right there.
Yeah.
Are those the door-to-door knife Cutco?
Cutco, Ronco, yeah, I think I think I got wrapped into selling that when I was 20. I had entered the job market at the bottom of the first financial crisis, so I was at Vector Knives. They were like,
Door to door.
You get paid per appointment.
You like, I remember they would go to doors and like cut. They're like, "Do you have any change?" And then you like give them a penny, and they cut through the penny, and you're like, "I need these knives." You never know when you're gonna need a cut change.
Yeah, absolutely. You do your dude. You could totally do that over there. Now, if you show them, you do a penny, you do a knife, extrapolate to a neck.
Yeah, it's
Tied for
it's
the
tough when you watch
bloodstains.
somebody cut a head off and you're like, and it goes through the spine like nobody's business, and you're like, how the hell did it do that?
Yeah.
You know, they could use that knife for much, shawarma.
So
there-
sponsorship.
Yeah.
There's some theories
This
out
beheading
there.
is brought to you by.
Yeah, that's what I would say. It's a lot of
Yeah.
eyes on that video.
Yeah. Good directing too. ISIS at one point, somebody went
Yeah.
to college and like went to film school or
Like
something.
drone footage.
Yeah, there's this beautiful one. I mean, it's horrifying.
Don't they look like Toyota commercials?
No, the reason why they say the Toyota commercial is because that's the official truck of ISIS.
Yeah.
That's what they drive.
Yeah.
I mean, Toyota, not according to Toyota, but
Yeah. I
But
thought this
the
got a good
videos.
Odyssey this year. I think they got a chance to win the contract.
Just ISIS pulling up in a minivan.
You think at some point Volkswagen must be like, dude, give us a shot.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Did you see what we did in the Holocaust?
Yeah.
Like, we did some good work there.
and they're like, no, we're sticking with Toyota. They were also, but they were collaborators, Japanese. They were allies with Germany, so they have a pitch.
Fair enough. Okay.
They have a pitch. We were gonna find out Toyota was some war machine thing too.
Yeah, of course. They all make their money doing
Yeah.
helicopter engines or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
We gotta wrap this up somehow.
I mean, I'll leave that to you. I mean, if you want, we'll kick in. We'll just go into show mode and just close it out. But however you want to land this thing.
Allie, do you have anything to plug?
It's been a lot of fun, Allie. Been
I'd
a
like
lot
to
of fun.
plug my podcast. You can check it out, Resting Bitch, on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get podcasts. You guys can check out these guys' podcast, Worst Hour Podcast.
Yeah.
If you liked what you heard here, you can get a whole lot more of it over there. You guys
Also-
are my favorite, for real.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're absolutely one of my favorite people at the moment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I genuinely am like so grateful for the both of you being good friends of mine and never being predatory towards me in any way.
No, I actually am disgusted by
It's
that
so
idea.
fucking gnarly when you just hear what a comedian has to thank another comedian for.
Thanks for being my friend and also not trying to touch me. I really appreciate it. You guys have gone above and beyond.
You have no idea how
by
small
showing
that
me
circle
decent
is.
respect. You guys have shown me the most minimal amount of respect, and I am
Forever loyal.
overwhelmed with appreciation towards you guys.
Well, you're very welcome.
I'm a good guy. I've been saying it all along, despite what everybody else says.
And even if I could get hard to you, I wouldn't do it. All right, folks. We'll have a good one. All right, folks. This has been a good podcast.
Is that it? Is that all you want to say? Rams Bad on Instagram.
Please. Yeah. And everywhere else.
Don't worry about my social media.
Brian Vokey on Instagram.
Yeah, something like that.
Mr. Brian Vokey.
Yeah.
Daddy, Papa Brian. I don't know.
Yeah, Daddy Brian.
Something.
Yeah, no, thank you for having us. And I appreciate your friendship through this journey we call comedy.
Absolutely.
Okie dokie. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.